What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. Today we're reviewing the 2023 Ford Expedition Timberline. Huge thank you to jc.schied over at Koons Sterling Ford, located here in Sterling, Virginia, for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Expedition or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have JC's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. First things first, I wanted to point out that this is the Expedition Timberline with the 501A equipment group. So there are going to be a lot of features here on the exterior that come with the 501A equipment group. I'm going to point out a few, and it's going to seem like a lot, but there's so many features on the exterior as well as the interior that come with the 501A equipment group. But I want to point out the ones that I think are important that you guys would want to know about. So I wanted to get that off my chest right off the bat. But let's get right into the video. Again, this is a 2023 Expedition Timberline with the 501A equipment group, and this particular one has been painted in agate black metallic. Now, one thing I wanted to say is that if you guys are looking at the Timberline trim level, just know that this is the only configuration you can get the Timberline trim level in. So if you guys are looking at an Expedition Max but you like the Timberline trim level, you cannot get the Timberline with the Expedition Max. But let's get right into it. So you do get LED reflector headlights with automatic high beams, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights located here in your front bumper. One thing I wanted to point out that has to do with your LED fog lights is that for 2023, you now get a black fog light bezel. And I wanted to point that out because that is one of the few things that is updated with the Expedition for 2023. Now, with the Timberline, you get a gray twin spar front grille with the black Ford logo located at the center of your grille. Just below your black Ford logo, you have a forward-facing camera. That forward-facing camera goes along with your 360-degree view camera that comes with the 501A equipment group. And then you get some gray trim underneath your grille, which is like from right here all the way over to there. It's kind of like an N shape, and then just below that you have some ember red trim. Now, one thing that's interesting is that on the interior, Ford calls this color tangerine, and then on the exterior they call it ember red. So you get some ember red trim, you get some light gray trim, and then you get two ember red tow hooks with the Timberline. And then you get four forward facing sensors here on the front end. You get 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you get a Timberline logo on the passenger side of the front end. And also with the Timberline, you get standard skid plates that cover your front, rear, and the underbody, which I believe is just the fuel tank, but Ford says it's the underbody. So I would say it's probably just a skid plate covering your fuel tank, but again, Ford says it's the underbody. Now, another thing I wanted to say before we continue on is that you do get a heavy duty radiator with the 501A equipment group, which is located back in there. And when that thing turns on, it sounds like it's heavy duty. It is pulling a lot of air. And then before we move on, one more thing is that you do get 10.6 inches of ground clearance, which is best in class. You can see tons and tons of ground clearance here with the Expedition Timberline. This competes directly with like the Tahoe Z71 as well as the Yukon AT4, but this thing is more comfortable and has a lot more power. Now, with the 501A equipment group spec, you get these 18-inch magnetic painted aluminum wheels that are wrapped in 265/70 Goodyear Wrangler Territory ATS tires. I'll give you guys a view of the tread pattern on those tires, so you can pretty much tackle any sort of terrain that you guys are going to be throwing at this. I don't think you guys are going to be driving these quite like you'd be driving a Ford Raptor off-road, but you know, like I said, I think you could probably tackle 90% of the terrain that you want to here on the Timberline with these tires. You get a rough road suspension with off-road tuned shocks, again with the Timberline. And then in the rear, I want to talk about the rear suspension. You get a multi-link independent rear suspension, again working in collaboration with those off-road tuned shocks. One thing I wanted to mention is that if you guys get the Timberline in a red, you guys get the Timberline in the blue, you're still going to be getting black mirror caps. So you get black mirror caps with the Timberline with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, power folding, they do have memory, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. You also get a camera that comes with the 501A equipment group. So you can see side view camera right there that works in collaboration with your 360-degree view camera system, as well as you get a puddle light right here as well, which comes standard on the Timberline, and that works with the zone lighting feature, which is really, really cool. And I'll show you guys that when we move into the interior. Now, working our way back to the front end. I want to show you guys that you do get an antenna at the center of the front end, just above your windshield, as well as with the Timberline, you do get black roof rails. I'll show you guys that. It's kind of like a satin black roof rail, pretty cool. Get a Timberline badge right there. Then you get some chrome window trim that runs beneath your windows, which is kind of interesting. I kind of wish they would have blacked that out. But you also get body color door handles and black running boards underneath all your passenger doors. Those black running boards come with the 501A equipment group. I'm going to point this out one more time. You do get your Timberline logo just behind your second row passenger doors, located on this like black trim piece. That is your rear wheel and tire setup, same as the front. Then you get a capless filler neck just behind your fuel door. So boom, capless filler neck. All you got to do is put the nozzle in there. Very, very easy to fill up. You also get a body color roof spoiler right here, which looks pretty sweet, and that is where you will find your LED third brake light. Coming down a bit, you have intermittent rear wiper. This rear glass piece opens up, which is pretty cool. All you got to do is find this little triangle right here, put your hand on that pad, and the rear glass will open up, so you can send some lumber through there. If you guys do a Home Depot run and the lumber won't fit without opening up that glass, you can open up the glass without having to open up the entire lift gate. You get some chrome trim just beneath your wiper. You get a black Ford logo. You get your Expedition lettering with ember red outlines. You get some Timberline badging on the power lift gate. Here is your rear view camera. Sticking your hand under here will open up the power lift gate. So let's see what kind of storage space we have in the trunk. So good amount of storage space, just about as much as what you would find in a Tahoe or a Yukon. Obviously, if you guys fold these seats down, you have a ton more space. So with the 501A equipment group, you guys do get power folding third row seats. So I believe all you got to do is press on that and then they start to go down. So you can see a lot more storage space back here with the third row seats folding down. They don't want to fold down because I guess the second row seats are too far back. I'm going to fold this back up and I'll show you guys why in a minute. But you get a storage cubby over here, and I believe you can lift this up and you find a little bit more storage space, as well as your jack, as well as that little filler thing right there. So if you guys end up running out of gas, you can still fill the vehicle up with a external gas tank without having to like worry about sticking a stick in your capless filler neck, if that makes sense. You get a black bumper cover, pretty cool, so you don't scratch up the paint. Press it on that and the power lift gate will close. You do get incandescent taillights, which is kind of interesting to me. I guess it doesn't want to close. All right, I had to move that into the third row seats, but now let's close the power lift gate. Power lift gate will close. You do get incandescent taillights, which is what is right here, so they are not LED. I wanted to point that out. And then also you get 4 rear view sensors back here total. So you get 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you get a light gray rear valance back here with 2 reflectors. Here is your dual exhaust right there. And then with the Timberline, you do get a 373 rear axle, as well as a 2-speed transfer case for 4-wheel drive high and 4-wheel drive low. This particular Expedition Timberline has been optioned with the $795 heavy-duty trailer tow package, and with that optioned with 4-wheel drive, the max tow capacity is 9,200 pounds, which is a ton of weight. You guys can pull a pretty dang big boat with the max tow capacity of 9,200 pounds. Got 373 rear axle, which in my opinion, I think is the best rear gear that you can possibly put on any vehicle, unless you're like boosted or something like that. But again, let me know what you guys think of the 2023 Expedition Timberline in the comments down below. I think this thing looks really, really sweet. If you guys are looking at getting like a Tahoe Z71, a Yukon AT4, this thing is really, really sweet, and it's a lot more comfortable and a lot more powerful than the Yukons and the Tahoe Z71 and AT4. But again, let me know what you guys think of it in the comments down below. But let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that high output 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6 that makes 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 5.1 seconds, which is crazy. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 15 miles per gallon in the city, 19 miles per gallon on the highway, for 17 miles per gallon combined with 4-wheel drive. Those numbers are very similar to what you would find in like the Tahoe Z71 or the Yukon AT4, and this thing again has a lot more power than both of those. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help, so I greatly appreciate it if you guys would take a second, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. All right, guys, moving into the interior, you do get keyless access. Just make sure you have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across these hash marks right here, and the vehicle will lock. So now when I try to open up the door, it will not open up. Now, you can obviously also open up the interior by pressing the unlock button on the key fob, but one more way that you can get into the interior is that you have this little keypad right here. So if you guys remember your code, you can type in your code, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing the 7, 8, and 9-0 buttons simultaneously. So you can see right now it's unlocked. Press these buttons together at the same time, the vehicle will lock. But again, this has keyless access, so you just put your hand behind there and the vehicle will unlock. But I wanted to show you guys that with the 501A equipment group, you guys do get remote start. A couple other functions that you get with the key fob, obviously your unlock button, your lock button, and then pressing that button twice will open up and or close your power trunk. So let's move into the interior. Again, you get keyless access. So I'm gonna remote start her first. Listen. That's the 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost roaring to life. But again, keyless access, all you gotta do, put your hand behind the door handle and the vehicle will unlock. Now let's take a look at what's going on here in the interior. So up top here, you have your Onyx black leather, which is very nice. Onyx black leather is also new for 2023. You get some tangerine accent colored stitching. Like I mentioned to you guys, they called this color Ember Red on the outside, but when you move into the inside, it is called tangerine. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest, which feels very, very nice. You get automatic up and down windows in the front, but you do not get automatic up or down windows in the rear. 3 memory seat adjustment settings, and just keep in mind that your memory seats also include your side view mirrors. So your side view mirrors also have memory, and then you get your unlock and your lock buttons, power mirror controls. Pressing on this button will fold your side view mirrors in. Press this button again, the side view mirrors will fold back out, and then this is the button to restrict your passenger window privileges. And then you get tons of miscellaneous storage space towards the bottom of the door panel. And then you have your Bang & Olufsen speaker surround. The 12 speaker Bang & Olufsen speaker surround with the subwoofer comes with the 501A equipment group. Obviously you get a power front driver seat as well as a power front passenger seat. You can see the seats are perforated, so these front seats are both heated and ventilated. Obviously you get a heated steering wheel as well, but you can see that tangerine accent colored stitching going throughout not only the driver's seat, not only the passenger seat, but throughout the entire interior. Here's a cool little Easter egg. This looks like Detroit, pretty cool. Again, you get some more of that tangerine accent trim in here, tangerine accent colored stitching. Let's step into the interior because it is pretty dang cold out here, and I want to feel the warmth of the HVAC on the interior. So like I said, because you get keyless access, you also get push button start. So make sure you push your foot down on the brake, make sure you have the key fob in the interior, and push to start, and then that will turn the interior on, so you have full access to everything. So over here, this is your driver's side light. So if I press on that, the driver's side light will turn on, which is located at the bottom of your mirror, which is right there, as well as these lights are on as well. So that is your zone lighting stuff. I'll show you guys the entire zone lighting here in a minute, but I wanted to point that out first. Let's step into the interior. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that if your kids are being annoying and they're sitting in the 3rd row, you can see your 3rd row headrest right there and right there. You have this little button right over here. So if I press this button, I want to show you guys what happens. I want to show you guys those 3rd row headrests. So your kids are being annoying, you can annoy them back by pressing on that button, and you can see the headrests go down. I wanted to show you guys that, and that's the reason I put that headrest back up when we were talking about the trunk. Obviously, pressing on that button will open and or close the trunk. Here are your headlight controls. So right now this is headlights automatic. And then if I press on that, that will turn my fog lights on. And then this is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. You got this little rocker switch right here. So if I press that, that's gonna push the pedals away from me. So watch the pedals. See how they're going away from me? If I press on this, the pedals will start coming closer to me. This is your electronic parking brake. So pull up on that, that will engage your parking brake, and you can tell it's engaged there, and it also lets you know right there. If you guys want to disengage your parking brake, push your foot down on the brake and push on that again, and you can see the parking brake disengages. You get an O-poop handle here for your driver, another O-poop handle over there for your passenger. Let's take a listen to our turn signal. that is what the turn signal sounds like on the Expedition. So you also have your windshield wiper control stock, and these are all your different windshield wiper controls. You get a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, which is very nice. It'll come closer to you, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go back away from you, so pretty cool. And then you got all your windshield wiper controls there. Obviously also have your high beam stock. You get a leather wrapped steering wheel that is heated, and it's heated right now and it feels nice and warm. And then you get some tangerine accent colored stitching on the inside of the steering wheel. Here are your adaptive cruise control settings. So this does have adaptive cruise control with the 501A. This is to volume down, this is to volume up, this is to speak to the vehicle. So the speaking to the vehicle thing is also a part of the 501A equipment group, and Ford calls it voice activated touch navigation system. So you can tell the vehicle to pretty much do what you want it to. You get a black Ford logo. This is your horn. Let's take a listen to the horn. That's what the horn sounds like on the 2023 Expedition. And then this is to pick up on a phone call, hang up on a phone call. This is to go back on a track, and this is to go forward on a track. And these buttons right here are to control your 12.4-inch digital gauge cluster. So let's go throughout that here now. You can see, you got your RPM gauge, you got your speedometer, and then you got your different temperatures and pressures up top here, as well as your fuel information. So right now we have 48 miles until empty. Let's go throughout this screen so you can bring up the navigation on the screen. You can go in between your different navigation stuff. You can go in between your different phone stuff, audio stuff, and your settings. Keep scrolling up. You can go in between towing information, vehicle information, trip/fuel information, and my view. So tons of different things you can do here on screen. That's your ambient exterior temperature. That lets us know what song is playing at the current moment. E stands for east, so we're facing an easterly direction. And then 28.2, that is the odometer. So you've got 28.2 miles on it. That lets us know that I think the blind spot monitoring is off at the moment. I think I pointed this out, but that's your ambient exterior temperature, and then that is your transmission status. So right now we are in park, and yeah, that's really about it for that. You get push button start. Here is your Pro Trailer Backup Assist, so you can twist this the way you want it to. And if you have a trailer on the back and you don't know how to steer it, all you got to do is twist this thing and the vehicle will literally steer for you. Very, very nice thing to use if you guys don't know how to back up a trailer. I think you should know how to back up a trailer, but if you don't, you at least have that. And then this is your integrated trailer brake controller, which is very useful if you guys have a heavy load. And then just to the right of that, so this big, huge screen also comes with the 501A equipment group, and this is a 15.5-inch Sync 4 infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So very nice screen. You can see I got my Apple CarPlay displayed on screen at the moment. You can go in between your different settings up top there. That is your current time. That's the ambient exterior temperature. Make sure you guys can see that stuff. You get your media stuff, your phone stuff, get your navigation stuff, and more like radio stuff over there. And then down here you have your climate control stack. If you guys want the climate control to take up the entire screen, all you got to do is press on that button, and you can see the climate control is now throughout the entire screen. One thing I wanted to show you guys is that you do get heated and ventilated front seats. So if you come here, this is like your heated seat stuff. And then down here is your ventilated seat stuff. So if I press on that, it turns blue. That turns my ventilated seats on, but I'm gonna have everything off at the moment. And then if you come over here, again, you get your heated seat stuff up top here, and then your ventilated seat stuff on the bottom. Right here, that is your heated steering wheel button, on or off. You only get one level of adjustability for that. This is to like turn or mute the radio. So if I press that, you can mute the radio, you can unmute the radio, and then this is your volume knob. So you can volume up, volume down. Pretty funny. And then let's talk about this here for a second. So if we go into here, you can go into your different camera stuff. So very easy access into your 360-degree view camera. That is displaying your forward-facing camera. And if I throw it into reverse, now your rear view camera with guidance lines displays up top here. You throw it back into park. And I want to show you guys, you can go into your different towing stuff, but this is what I wanted to show you guys, the zone lighting stuff. So we can turn zone lighting on. So now I can turn these different zones on individually, and you can see it turns on your lights in the back, on the sides, and in the front. So let's go to the front. Right now the front zone is on. Let's see what turns on. I believe it's pretty much everything, your fog lights, your headlights, all the above. So headlights are on, fog lights are on, and that is your front zone lighting. Now I'm going to turn all the zones on, or to make this quick, So now I'm going to turn the sides and the rear on, and I'll show you guys what that turns on. So on the side, you get this light right here, as well as on the bottom you have your little puddle light. So right now, you got your headlights on, you got your fog lights on, you get these lights right here, like your spotlights, and then you also get a puddle light. And then moving our way to the back end of the Expedition, you have your reverse lights that turn on as well, and I believe that's about it. Obviously, we'll come around this side, and you can see same thing. You got your puddle light that turns on, you got this spotlight that turns on, and your headlights that turn on as well. I would say the zone lighting on the F150s is definitely better and a little bit brighter, but if you guys don't want an F150 and you want this and you still get zone lighting, it's still pretty cool in my opinion. So we'll turn off all those different lights, and then you can go into your trail turn assist. Basically turns trail turn assist. I believe you can basically turn this thing on a dime. Pretty cool thing. I think it disconnects like the differentials, so you can pretty much turn like, anyway, it makes for a sharper turn. And then you can put it into valet mode. You can go in between your different settings, your sound settings, your phone settings, your driver assist settings. So you can go into here, and then here are all your different features. So you get adaptive cruise control, you get auto hold, which will basically hold the vehicle in place. It'll hold the brakes for you in traffic, which is a very nice thing. Speed limit assist, lane keep assist, pre-collision assist, rear view camera delay, blind spot monitoring, which again, you can see right there is off. So if I click right here to turn it back on, you can see it turns back on, and these things turn on as well. And then you get cross traffic alert, you get reverse brake assist and driver alert, which is pretty cool. Let's see what driver alert says. It notifies you if the vehicle detects that you are inattentive. That is pretty cool. Then you can go in between your different vehicle settings. You can go into your general settings. You can go into your display settings and your clock settings and all. There are a bunch of different things. I mean, look at that. You can turn your ambient lighting. You can go into ambient lighting. You can turn the brightness up. You can turn the brightness down. You can turn the ambient lighting on. I'm gonna turn it to about like right there. Towing information, Ford Expedition, so many different things. This is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle. I mean, so many different things that you can do with this screen. I'm not gonna go through each and everything, but this is your hazard button. You can see hazards are flashing. This is to turn traction control on or off, and then if you press that button, that will turn your front defroster on max. So you can see it turns it all the way up just by the push of that button. You get a 12-volt power outlet just to the right of your infotainment screen, and then down here you can either close this so it looks nice and clean, or you can open this back up, sliding that forward, and then you get a wireless charging pad, USB-A port, and a USB-C port, and a good amount of miscellaneous storage space down in there for a phone. Again, you get a rotary dial for your transmission. So right now we're in park, twist it to the right, reverse, neutral, drive, and then push M to go into manual mode. And then this is to lock your rear axle. So if you press on that, I believe you have to be in drive. So now the axle is locked, and you can tell it's locked because you got that green thing. I'm gonna press that again, and it unlocks the axle. So pretty cool. This is to downshift, this is to upshift. So when you're in manual mode, this is downshift, this is upshift. You get 2 high, 4 low, 4 high, and 4 automatic. And then you have your drive mode selector right here. So if I twist this to the left, you get your normal mode, you get your slippery mode, you get your sand mode, and then you get your mud/ruts. You also get tow haul mode, sport mode, eco mode, and normal mode. So you get tons of different modes, and I like how it switches like what the vehicle looks like in between each mode. I think that's pretty cool. And that's just like little things that I appreciate that manufacturers do. And then this is the button that I was talking to you guys about. So for 2023, this trail control button is standard. So it's basically trail 1 pedal drive. So all you got to do is drive with the accelerator, and it makes for trail driving a lot easier. So this button, or this feature in general, is now standard for 2023, where it used to be an option. And then this is to turn your front and rear view sensors on or off. You get 2 cup holders down in there. You can close this as well. You can close this, and you can see it's a lot cleaner, so you don't see a bunch of crap. And one thing that I like about F150s, I like about the Expedition, is that this center console here is locking. So pretty cool. You get a nicely padded leather wrapped armrest with some accent colored stitching. Let's open this up. You get a divider there. You can take the divider out. I'm going to show you guys what you can put in the divider. You can put your different coins in the divider, and then you can also put some business cards right here, which is really sweet. And then you can set your phone in this part of it. Very good amount of space. And then you get a 12-volt outlet right there. And then look how much storage space is down in there. My whole forearm fits down in there. There's just tons of storage space down in there, so pretty cool. And then you got a spot you can set some pens. I mean, it literally says you can set pens there, so pretty cool. And then you get an upper glove box for your sausage McMuffins. So you can fit probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 sausage McMuffins in there if you stack them. So pretty cool and good amount of space up there. You get a lockable glove box with a very good amount of storage space. Looks pretty much the exact same size as the F150 XL that I just got out of. So very good amount of space. And then I believe, yeah, you get some storage right here for a phone or radar detector or something like that. And then same thing for this side as well. This is storage space down in here. So pretty cool. And up top here, auto dimming rear view mirror. You get a great spot. You can set your sunglasses. And then you get your pano roof controls right here. And then these are your shade controls for your pano roof. Pano roof comes with the 501A equipment group. So this is to push your shade back. So now the shade's going back. And then if you guys wanted to open up the pano roof, that would be the button you would press. If you guys want to tilt the pano roof like this, like you can tilt it, that would be the button you would press. And then that is to close the pano roof. Then you got your different lighting options. That's my driver light. That's my front passenger light. And then you can turn on all of the dome lights from the push of this button right here. Universal garage door opener with 3 different garage bays that you can open. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights. And you got a spot right here, a little clip. You could set business cards, money, any small paper product. Same thing goes for this guy as well. But one thing I wanted to show you guys is that this also does slide. So boom, all you gotta do, slide it forward, slide it backwards. If the sun is right here, you can block the sun. If it's no longer there, you can slide it and put it back in. This is your Bluetooth mic pickup for a Bluetooth phone. Same thing for over there. This guy gets an extra OPOOP handle, so you can see 1 OPOOP handle, 2 OPOOP handle, whereas the driver only gets 1 OPOOP handle. Obviously the driver controls pretty much everything, and he or she can steer the steering wheel and hold on to that. But a couple things I wanted to go over, and that include the okay, I guess I mentioned this already, but I'm going to mention it again, is that new for 2023 to the Timberline is the Trail 1 pedal drive, which is now standard, which again is this button right here, as well as the Onyx interior. So this interior is again new for 2023, and this interior color comes standard with the 501A. Now, a couple things. The 501A is a $9,220 option, but with all that money, I know that's a lot of money, you basically get a fully loaded vehicle. I mean, this pretty much has everything, and I'm gonna read to you guys pretty much everything that comes with the 501A equipment group. So here we go. What's included is the 15.5-inch infotainment screen, as well as Ford Copilot 360 Assist 2.0. I'll list that, we'll put a little screenshot of what comes with that on screen now. You also get the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with subwoofer. You get the 12-inch digital gauge cluster, the panoramic roof, voice-activated touch navigation system, those 18-inch wheels, those black running boards. You get 3-zone climate control. You get the 373 limited slip rear differential. You get remote start. You get the heavy-duty radiator. You get backup sensors. You get the heated second-row seats, and you get the power folding third-row seats, as well as privacy glass for the second and third-row passengers. So tons of different stuff that you get with the 501A equipment group. I don't think I even named everything, but I named the majority of what you get with it. This particular one has also been optioned with the $795 heavy duty trailer tow package. And then I have a new segment called Kenny's Key Features, where I read to you guys some of the cool features that I like to highlight on certain vehicles. So those features include heated and ventilated front seats, the wireless charging pad, adaptive cruise control, which comes with the 501A equipment group, which is the Ford Copilot 360 Assist 2.0, panoramic roof, which is right there, the 360-degree view camera, and the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. Those are the features that I wanted to highlight that personally are the coolest to me on this particular vehicle. But very, very nice vehicle here. Super, super comfortable. I mean, the seats are super comfortable. The ride is very comfortable. I would say that the ride is not quite as good as like a Platinum Expedition or a Limited Expedition, but this one is also like the off-road variant of it. So it's got the off-road tune shocks. So you can do a lot more off-roading in this as compared to like a Limited or a Platinum. But I do want to go over the window sticker, so bear with me here for a second. So I do want to show you guys the government safety rating, so I'll throw those on screen now. So the overall vehicle score is 5 stars. Frontal crash for the driver and the passenger, 5 stars for both. And then for the side crash for the front and rear seats, both 5 stars. And then you get 4 stars for your rollover. So if you guys God forbid, get in an accident, just know that you are in a very, very safe vehicle. So that's definitely something nice to have. And I'm going to throw the rest of the window sticker on screen. You guys can check out the warranty. You guys can check out the features. You guys can check out the fuel economy if you want to. But I do want to talk about the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2023 Ford Expedition Timberline is spec'd is $83,110. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comments down below. Again, this thing is fully loaded. It's got tons of power, and this is pretty much the same price as a loaded up Tahoe Z71 or a loaded up Yukon AT4. Obviously the Yukon AT4 is going to be a little bit more expensive than the Tahoe Z71 because, I mean, it's a GMC, but they're pretty much the same thing. But I didn't say that. Let's move into those rear seats. I want to show you guys what's going on back here. So taking a look at this door panel, looks pretty much the exact same as the front door panel, but you do get a great spot. You can set a cup, nicely padded armrest, miscellaneous storage space down here. But you get one thing that you don't get in the front seats here for the second row passengers, and that is a great spot. You can set a phone in here. Miscellaneous storage space down here, tons of it, as well as a spot you can set a water bottle. But here are what the second row seats look like. You can recline them, you can slide them forward, you can slide them backwards. I'm going to show you guys that now. You can recline these seats. All you got to do is pull up on one of these levers, this one, so you can see I'm reclined now. I can bring it back up, so you can see forward, backwards, so I can make myself very comfortable. Tons of reclinability. I know that's not a word, but that's the word that I like to use. So very good amount of reclinability, tons and tons of adjustability here for your second row passengers. Again, you get some more of that tangerine accent colored stitching. You get perforated leather going down the center of the seats. However, these seats are heated only in the second row. So this guy's seat is heated, this seat is heated. You do not get ventilated seats in the second row. And then the third row passengers do not get heated seats. So just something to keep in mind. You get two cup holders right here. This is a tri-zone climate control vehicle. So here are your climate control settings. Opening this up, you get a USB-A port and a USB-C port. And then over here you have a 150 watt household power outlet, which let's see if it'll open for me. Doesn't want to at the moment, it seems. Okay, there we go. Now you get your household power outlet right there. And then down here you get a 12 volt outlet and a spot you can set some phones if you guys want to charge them down in there. So yeah, very, very good amount of storage space here, and very, very good amount of leg room, very good amount of knee room, and very good amount of headroom here for me in the second row. I'm 5'9". Get an OPU panel. This side also gets an OPU panel, but you get another OPU panel on the ceiling and another one over there. Here's your HVAC vent for the second row passenger. Your other one is right there. You get your dome lights, as well as a spot you can hold up your dry cleaning. You get another spot you can hold up your dry cleaning there as well. One thing I really like about the Expeditions is that you do get a folding down armrest for your second row passengers. So I am very, very comfortable. I could definitely do a long road trip here. I mean, I've got tons of leg room, tons of headroom, tons of knee room. So yeah, very, very comfortable here in the second row seats. Now let's move into the third row. Let's see what's going on back here. These third row seats are actually surprisingly comfortable, especially on the bottom. There's a lot of padding for your bottom, which is very nice. I think I can recline these seats by pressing on this button right here. So now my seats are reclining, and now I just reclined the third row seats with the push of the button right here. So very nice. I can also bring them back up. I can recline them, so that is pretty cool in my opinion. This is like a 60-40 setup, so these seats are connected. In like this passenger side, I am not connected. So again, 60-40 for me here on this side. Very good amount of storage space. I mean, tons of storage space. Way more storage space back here in the back of the Expedition versus what you'd find in the Tahoe or the Yukons. You get a USB-A port in the third row. You get a spot you can set a water bottle. And yeah, again, tons more storage space here for your third row passengers. That as compared to the Yukons and the Tahoes, you get a 12 volt outlet right there. And then moving over to this side, again, you get a USB-A port, two cup holders on this side, whereas this side only gets one. And then you still get a ton of miscellaneous storage back in there. So very, very nice interior. I mean, again, that 501A package is a lot of money, $9,220. However, if you guys want a fully loaded Timberline, you gotta get that package. I mean, it pretty much comes with everything from remote start to that big screen right there to adaptive cruise control. I mean, to the pano roof. If you guys want a fully loaded vehicle, you're gonna have to get the 501A equipment group. I recommend getting it. I mean, this vehicle already costs a lot of money, so you know, another $9,000 to make this thing primo and fully loaded, you know, it's a lot of money again, but I would recommend it. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Expedition Timberline. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review, where we start our videos here and we rate these vehicles going over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour on a scale of 1 to 10. Nothing will ever be a 10. Did really well over the first one. It like really soaked up the bumps, but again, this is the Timberline, so it's, you know, pretty much built to soak up bumps like this. So we'll go about to 5. And I'm gonna give this thing an 8.1 on a scale of 1 to 10. This is where the Timberline really shines, because it's meant to go over, you know, terrain like that. Obviously that's a speed bump, but like that kind of terrain, like rocky terrain, and you know, going over logs or something like that. That's like what this thing is built for. So obviously it's going to ride really well over those speed bumps, and this is one of the higher scores that I've given any vehicle really on the speed bump test. So this thing did really well initially right off the bat on our driving portion of the review. I know this thing is going to be super quick. We'll do a little acceleration here. Really quick acceleration. I mean, I expected that, obviously, because you guys heard the power figures. You guys know that this thing's got a 373 rear gear, and yeah, so those things two working together, this thing is a rocket ship. And again, the car and driver 0 to 60 test was a 5.1 second 0 to 60, which for a vehicle of this size is just absolutely insane. And comparing this to the Tahoe Z71 or the Yukon AT4, I believe those get like a 7 point something 0 to 60, so way faster here. And we know, like, if you guys know anything about EcoBoost powertrains, you guys know that these things absolutely haul ass, and they're just a great powertrain. Doesn't matter if you guys are getting the 2.7 liter, the regular 3.5 liter EcoBoost, or like what we have here, which is the high output 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost. This is the Mac Daddy EcoBoost V6. I mean, this thing just, it's got all the beans. I mean, you push your foot to the floor and this thing will get out of its own way. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how quick this thing is, especially considering the size of it. And it's got great low-end torque. It's got great high-end horsepower. I mean, it's just an overall really good torque curve, really good horsepower curve, and I feel like the way that it builds power is just really fantastic. So again, the seat comfort in this thing is just absolutely fantastic. It's super comfortable. The way that this thing drives is super comfortable, and even for this thing having off-road tune shocks, it still rides very well. You know, again, I talk about this in every video that I do with any Ford product. Doesn't matter if it's a Raptor, doesn't matter if it's this, it doesn't matter if it's a F150 Platinum. Really, for the most part, all their vehicles like this, like the F150, all their bigger vehicles just are so comfortable. They ride so well, and they've got a ton of get up and go, and this is no different. We'll do a little acceleration here, just like a normal one, you know, what you would normally do from stoplight to stoplight, and you can see it just accelerates so effortlessly. So comparing this to, again, like the Yukon AT4 or the Silverado Z71, we've already compared the horsepower and the torque figures. We know that this thing's got more, but comparing the fuel economy numbers, they're pretty much right on par with each other. They're pretty much the exact same. So yeah, this is the twin turbo V6, and that is a 6.2 liter V8 or the 5.3 liter V8. Those are the two engine options that you guys can get with, at least on the Tahoe Z71, those are the two different engine options that you can get. But you know, if you guys are opting for the 6.2, you're still only making 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, or I believe this one makes 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, 440 and 510. And you're getting very similar fuel economy numbers, and in my opinion, I think this thing rides maybe a little bit better than either one of those. Now, those are definitely probably, like on a back road, those are going to outhandle this, because, you know, the Yukon suspension and the Tahoe suspensions with the mag ride, I mean, they're really good, like really good. So handling wise, those are going to outhandle this, but, you know, day-to-day driving wise, I think this ride's just a tad bit better. You know, going over bumps and stuff, they're very close, you know, they're very similar. But again, I think this, you know, looks are subjective, and, you know, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the look of the Tahoe Z71 better, or do you guys like the look of the Expedition Timberline that we have here better? Now, one thing that you get that you may not like on the Expedition Timberline is like that ember red trim. Some of you guys are not going to like that, and that might sway you away from getting this. But in my opinion, I think it looks really good, and it really, especially on this black here, it all ties together very nicely. Now, I'm not 100% sure all the different color options that you can get on this, but if you guys maybe match that ember red with like a blue, I don't think it would look the greatest. But again, I'm not sure if you can get a blue on this. I'm hoping that maybe you could get like antimatter blue, but I doubt you can get antimatter blue on this, but who knows. But again, this thing, so much room here on the interior. It's so spacious. There's so much storage space. There's so much leg room in the second row. There's so much leg room here in the first row. And we'll do another little something here. And one thing I noticed when I was sitting, just idling with the engine on, is that this thing actually has a little growl to it. And it really reminded me of the growl that the F150 Tremor had with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6. I mean, it's got that growl to it, and it sounds, honestly, it sounds somewhat similar to like the a V8 idle. And I know you guys are gonna call me crazy, but it really does. I mean, just, it's got a rumble to it, and it's pretty cool. Obviously it doesn't sound exactly like a V8, but it's got that bassy sound of a V8 at idle. So I'm gonna give you guys like 20 seconds of me not talking so you guys can hear what it sounds like cruising at 50 miles an hour. So I'll be quiet here for like 5 seconds, actually, probably more like. And you can hear it's just super quiet here cruising at 52 miles an hour. This thing is also very easy to drive. Like, the steering is really light, and if you guys are intimidated by a bigger vehicle, you know, because you're afraid to park it or something like that, just know that you have a 360 degree view camera here on the Timberline with the 501A. So if you guys are intimidated but you guys like the look of the Timberline, I would suggest getting the 501A solely on the fact that you get a 360 degree view camera. I think that in itself makes it worth it. Again, obviously you get a ton of other features with the 501A equipment group, but if you guys are intimidated to park, that's why I would suggest looking into at least looking into getting the 501A equipment group. But I'm gonna probably wait until this light turns green, then we'll do a little mild acceleration going to the left, and then I'll give you guys kind of my final thoughts, and then we'll skip to a 0 to 60 test, and that will be it for the video. Actually, before the light changes, I wanted to talk about the 12 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, because it sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's got a subwoofer. Clarity is great. Now, comparing this to the Bose sound system, I still think the Bose sound system still out edges this just a tad bit. I think the Bose is just a little bit better, but this sound system in itself still sounds absolutely fantastic. You know, I would not complain if I got this car and I had this sound system. I'd be like, man, this thing sounds really great. The sound system bumps, and it's just got great clarity to it. And we'll do a little mild acceleration like I promised you guys on this turn. So once we get straightened out, then we'll do a little something. And you guys can see just how quickly the 10-speed switches in between gears. It's like boom, boom, boom. So very quick shifts out of that 10-speed transmission. We know that the 10-speed transmission is fantastic, but now I do want to talk about my final thoughts on this vehicle, and some things I wanted to tell you guys about is comfortability wise, this thing is so comfortable. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about the ride or the seat comfort, they're both fantastic. You know, like I said, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, you get wireless Android Auto, you get a whole host of safety features like post-collision braking, pre-collision braking, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, cross path detection or whatever when you're backing up. So tons of different safety features. Sound system sounds great. I love this big screen. I love the digital gauge cluster. I love how you get heated and ventilated front seats. I love how you get the heated steering wheel. I love the panoramic roof. Just an overall really great vehicle for those of you guys who maybe live in the country and you drive on like your long, maybe you got a 1 mile long driveway and it's all gravel, and this thing would absolutely eat that 1 mile long driveway up very, very easily. Like my aunt, she's got a farm and her driveway is literally a mile long, and half of it is gravel, the other half, actually I'd say like maybe a quarter of it is gravel and the other 3/4 of it is paved. But this thing would absolutely eat up that gravel driveway. You know, it's got potholes, it's got all that kind of stuff, and this thing would be great for that. This would also be great for, you know, back roads that are gravel and stuff like that. Or if you guys just want a vehicle that looks, you know, off-roady, then this is the vehicle for you. You know, you can compare it, and you can compare it to like the Tahoe Z71, or you can compare it to the Yukon AT4. But again, if you guys are looking at getting one of these, let me know what you're comparing this to in the comments down below. But like I said, fantastic ride. I love the way that it drives. I love like sitting in it because it's so comfortable, and the sound system is really, really good. But again, before we end out today's video, I want to skip to a 0 to 60 test. So let's skip into that now. All right, guys, coming up to our 0 to 60 test spot. All we're going to do is floor this thing in 3, 2, 1, floored. Insanely fast, by the way. We did a 5.8 second 0 to 60 test. That is absolutely insane for a vehicle of this size, guys. Absolutely insane. And again, that's just the EcoBoost. That's the EcoBoost thing, man. Just insane power, insane 0 to 60. We have a Draggy certified 0 to 60 test in 5.86 seconds. So really, really quick acceleration, guys. I mean, for a 3-row SUV to get a sub 6 second 0 to 60 is just absolutely insane to me. And that's something that every time I get in a Ford product with an EcoBoost engine, I'm always just so pleased with the power of the EcoBoost V6. It's just a great engine. They're very reliable. My uncle's got a 2016 F150 with nearly 90,000 miles, and he hasn't had a problem with it ever. So fantastic engine, power wise, reliability wise, and just day-to-day use wise. Just very easy acceleration to the speed limit. It's just an overall great transmission, and overall this is a great vehicle. So that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help, so I greatly appreciate it. If you guys would take a second, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.